All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here for the first time. Regardless, I appreciate you guys being here. Let's talk about Quant again, shall we? So I just want to go a little bit on a shallow dive into Quantnet, some things that's been happening, and then some catalysts that are coming up, right? Because right now, if you've been on X or Reddit or really just YouTube, between everyone talking about the gloom and doom of World War III starting for the ninth time this year and how crypto today is really bad, tomorrow, oh my God, it's really good. We're so back, we're so not back. And between all of that stuff, I have been seeing more on individual crypto communities saying, oh, it's about time this one's going to explode. And yet I'm all for bullish propaganda in crypto. Let's keep this shit rolling. But I want to talk a little bit about what are actually some of the catalysts for Quant, right? We tend to focus on one or two specific details, but there's several things that we are waiting on that are not only likely, some of them are borderline guaranteed. And there's a few speculative ones that, again, I think are a little bit more exciting just because we don't know about them as much yet. But why do they matter? Catalysts are great, right? Price action goes up, utility goes up, all that wonderful stuff. But what's good is when we have multiple catalysts that layer on top of each other around the same time, this is where the mass movements go. And I think we have a couple of those realistic possibilities with Quant. So I guess that's the in general that I want to get in with today. So without further ado, other than the quick shill of, hey guys, if you've been here several times, if you've gotten anything from this, please do just press the like and subscribe button. It does really help support the channel. I appreciate it. Regardless, let's move forward. All right, in case you're new or don't know of Quant, let's just do a quick little summary of everything. I just feel like this is important to do. So for those who are really big into Quant, you can go take a quick 45-second pee break, do what you need to. So Quantnet, right? This is like the developer's enterprise dream and what Quant ecosystem is really all wrapped around. It's designed for the overledger to do what it's supposed to, interoperability, connect pretty much every type of financial institution and technology together. Quant's really the only one who has done that. And I understand the things about, oh, Chainlink can too. Yes, and not against Chainlink. It's just not set up as well as Quant is. The technology is not the same. The capacity to do it is not the same. They've got their own awesome shit, by the way. They've mastered oracles and they're going to do fine. But with interoperability, it is Quant. I don't think there's any second behind it, which also builds up my conviction into it. But with Quantnet, it just allows a bunch of developers direct access into the overledger. So that way developers and institutions can go ahead and put their maps, their multi-chain applications connected in. This just builds the spider web for Quant to be able to connect everything. All right, so this way we get real world financial systems between banks, CBDCs going from banks, which are technically blockchain institutions and they're somewhat not, connected directly to Quant, and it can connect it to all the other blockchain technologies, ledgers, and non-blockchain financial systems. It's the connector piece. It's the bridge. Again, it's the spider web that connects everything else together. So this way that CBDCs can run from bank to bank, but also can run from bank to Ethereum, to Avalanche, to Hedera, to Quant, to XRP. And this is what makes it so damn good, is it just is, it's essentially the sandbox for all of the crypto to play in. And this is a real world necessity. It's not even a good thing for it. For mass adoption to happen, we need interoperability like Quant. And again, there really is no secondary competition. It does not mean Quant's going to have every aspect of this space, but I do think they're going to be the major player in this space. And the fact that it is a required niche and utility for banks to ever use CBDCs effectively, this increases the future demand for Quant. And we hear it all the time, right? It's like, oh, well, where's the demand? It's all hypotheticals. I can't give much to that one. There is a guaranteed need for interoperability. I guess the only hypothetical who's going to do it. But Quant's been tested by Bank of International Settlements, by a couple different banks. UK is looking at, actually, UK is using it right now for another pilot study. It's the one that's most commonly being used for connections. XRP is doing well with stablecoins, and Overledger is the one that's been used more than anything else for testing on CBDCs. It's going to be mass used. We already have developers coming into Quantnet. We're expecting more onboarding of banks, fintechs, enterprise developers, just looking to tokenize assets onto ledgers and then move them back and forth. And I think this goes past speculation because there are massive whales buying Quant, and they have been. Actually, let me pull this up on X real quick. This was earlier this week. Was quick shout out to Sebastian, and also a shout out to Mind Crypto because he does this all the effing time tracking wallets. There was a huge whale wallet, guys. 305,000 Quant was bought. And in that wallet, there was nothing else, no Ethereum. And the reason why it's a big deal is that you would need Ethereum to move it. So it's not like this is a wallet that's bought Quant to move onto a cold storage. They bought it to sit there. And the only reason that you would have just Quant in there is that, well, banks or fintech and large corporations are going to need Quant to move and use Quant. So that would be why the only logical reason that we can think of why they would have it. Like, look, this is not just your standard small little buys, right? Someone's buying massively right now around the $80 limit. So to start the introduction of catalysts, that's the first one. Or really that builds up for future catalysts. Whales buying large portions of Quant, and that one was over the counter. What that means by is if you're sitting here wondering, well, if that was such a massive buy, why did the price not go up? In short, there's something called over the counter, which is a stupid name because it's really a backdoor buy of they contact the company or the individual, whoever's buying mass amounts. This happens all the time with Bitcoin. Michael Saylor does this all the time. Contacts like, hey, I'll give you X amount of money to buy a bunch of this crypto at a discount price. This way it's not on the market and it doesn't affect the price. It's a little sleazy, but it's legal and they do it. The reason why it's bullish is that that's a lot more effing Quant now that is off the market, which gets us closer to a supply shock. I'm going to come back to that one. So the less Quant that there's there, the better chance that catalysts are going to be larger because there's less Quant available to buy. Now let's get into the catalysts that we know are going to happen or very likely to happen. Staking. Right, I did a whole freaking video on this a week or so ago, and there's more conversations about it. Is every time Quant, which is not frequently, but every time they talk about staking coming, price goes up. People love to hear about it because one, most of Quant holders are long-term holders, right? The majority of us. Some people, yeah, they're going to sell for the end of the season. Make your money, guys. But what staking does is it locks away more Quant. Every time we stake something, we're removing it from the market, which one drives up the price because now it decreases the available supply or the perspective of supply. And so that way when demand raises like utility, things go up. And just the fact that when they launch staking, that's going to let us know utility is almost here because they need to start staking, or I feel they need to start staking before the full utility comes out and before they start announcing all the big details about like if they got the digital euro. I feel like they'd have to do staking first. That just makes more sense to me. But Quant staking is going to be a huge catalyst because it's a mini one every time it's talked about. Next, regulatory integration. This is the one we really want, right? Do realize that regulation isn't really set yet. There's still laws. There's still stuff they have to figure out, though they have all the drafts and everything done. And there are CBDCs planned, but most of them aren't planned until 2028 to 2030. So we have some time, but the announcements will be far sooner. So regulation announcements before the integration is also going to be a catalyst. If there's just an announcement, hey, we're making a CBDC and we're going to officially use Quant and HBAR, all right, that's going to, boom, things are going to go up. Corporations would have already bought at that point because they're not going to buy at a higher price. But this is going to bring in retail to help drive the price up. This could happen really anytime between tomorrow and multiple times in the next 3 years. And I kind of expect it to. This ties in with CBDC and RWA expansions. Is that Quant has ties with a lot of different groups, right? MIT's Digital Currency Initiative, UK's CBDC pilots with their tokenized sterling, Bank of England on Project Rosalind, the European Central Bank with the digital euro, and they're just going to keep building more and more. And these are just the large projects, right? This is the kind of long-term world scale use case that will send Quant into 4 digits and 5 digits down the road. And every time we get an announcement or more hype about it, that's a catalyst. And again, this is where things start adding up, right? If we end up having more large whales buying, which we will, and then we end up having staking announced, and then maybe within a week, there's, hey, we're now down to 2 different options for the digital euro, and one of them is Quant. We don't even need full confirmation. We just need to know, hey, it's the next step of reality, and boom, things are going to go up. I know I would buy on a thing like that because I knew the price would go up, so I'd want to get my last chance in at a cheap price on it. Now let's get into some of the little bit more fun things, the rumors and more speculative catalysts that have been circulating in the community and somewhat in my head. One is partnership expansions. If we hear more partnerships with, let's say, banks, even just like, I was going to say a small bank like Chase, not like that's a small bank, but having banks that are just testing using any part of Quant's ledger or fusion, that's pretty big. And I think that is very likely to have more banks announce this type of stuff. Which banks and when, that's what I'm excited to hear about. Or if there's deeper expansions into the partnerships with like Oracle or Swift, right? Like Oracle is already a Quant partner. Well, they're also partners with a lot of other people. And if Oracle brings in Quant to more of those partnerships, that really deepens things very well. Now, this one's a little bit more on the speculative side, but it's happened before, which is the burn, right? I love burn mechanisms and buybacks. I don't suspect Quant will ever do a routine buyback or routine burn, but they've burned before, right? In 2018, they had the ICO burn where they got rid of 200,000 unsold Quant tokens. Is they just said, adios, mothers, and they just got rid of them. That's possible, right? That could happen. And again, it's just removing Quant from the market, making it a more scarce asset. And again, I think this is the one the probably the least likely to happen, but it already has before. And I just like the idea of it. There's been some speculation. I'm not believing this one, but I'm all on board if it does, of Overledger becoming its own little DEX or DEX-like or marketplace for tokenized marketplace system for tokenized assets or cross-chain liquidity. I could see how this is realistic. There was people on Reddit talking about it, where it could turn like Quantnet into a hub for asset exchanges, not just data interoperability. I mean, if this ever happened, that'd be enormous. Because then we'd be talking Quant competing directly in the RWA and DeFi liquidity arena, as well as owning interoperability. The system could handle it, but I feel like that would be a little bit more than what the team is going to want to take on. And then lastly, I don't know if this is a catalyst as much as just if Gilbert Verdian does this, but Gilbert's background includes a lot of work with like the UK government, cybersecurity, ISO standards. So he knows a lot of people. It's the whole networking system has really helped him develop Quant to what it is right now. But it also means that he knows a lot of people who know a lot of national or a lot of international high management individuals. And this could play a key role in connecting more national digital currencies into private financial systems, specifically in the UK and Europe. All right, because we keep talking about mass interoperability, but even just doing the little private ones, those are small deals that there's millions of. So the more just little micro, even if it's bank to bank connections, or government to bank or government to government connections, not a mass adoption. These are small things that need done too. Who's going to do them? Right? It would make sense to have someone that does the macro and the micro exchanges, but yeah, they're just banks going back and forth. This is what like XRP talks about doing a lot. Quant can do it too, and they have a pretty good setup chance in the UK and Europe just because of all the connections that they already have there. So there you guys have it. You survived another rant by fighting crypto about Quant. I appreciate you guys being here. Let me know your thoughts down below. And you know what? I'll see you guys here again soon. Peace.